Sleep paralysis. It starts the same way every time. You open your eyes, unable to move. The room is dark, silent, but something feels wrong. There's a weight on your chest, a presence by the door, and then you see it. A figure, watching, waiting. Is it just a nightmare or something that followed you back from the dream? Thousands have shared their sleep paralysis encounters online, but this one is different. This one will haunt you long after the video ends. I'm Disturbing Jack, and this is the most horrifying sleep paralysis case. Reddit True Stories. My name is Marcus Bell. I'm 27 years old. I work remotely as a software engineer on mostly back-end stuff, nothing flashy. Quiet, predictable, just the way I used to like it. I've always been one of those people who finds comfort in logic. I like patterns, explanations, systems. Growing up, I was the kind of kid who took things apart just to see how they worked. Clocks, radios, even my dad's old computer. I never believed in ghosts, demons, or the paranormal. To me, those things were just stories people told themselves when reality felt too harsh or too complicated. But what's happening to me now, it doesn't fit into any system I understand. I moved into my current apartment about 6 months ago. It's a one-bedroom unit in an older building just outside the city. Nothing fancy. White walls, creaky floors, a kitchen with chipped countertops, and one of those humming fridges that sounds like it's trying to speak in Morse code. But it was cheap, close to a small coffee shop I like, and most importantly, quiet. At least that's what I thought. For the first couple of weeks, everything was normal. I was getting used to living alone again after a breakup, settling into a new routine. I'd work during the day, cook simple meals at night, and scroll Reddit or play something mindless before bed. The usual. Then one night, I think it was a Thursday, I woke up at around 3:20 a.m., completely still. At first, I thought I was just groggy, but something was wrong. My chest felt tight. I couldn't move. I couldn't even turn my head. My eyes were wide open, fixed on the ceiling. The air in the room felt heavy, thick, like breathing underwater. I noticed something in the corner of the room. It was darker than the rest of the shadows. I couldn't make out what it was, but it had shape. It had presence. I tried to scream. Nothing. I tried to blink. Nothing. I lay there frozen, completely helpless, as this thing stood there, watching me. And then, just as suddenly as it started, it ended. I gasped for air and shot upright in bed. My heart was racing. My whole body was drenched in sweat. I told myself it was just sleep paralysis, a one-time thing. I had read about it before, and a glitch in the brain during REM sleep when your mind wakes up but your body doesn't. Scary but harmless, right? But it happened again and again. I started documenting everything in a notebook beside my bed. At first, the notes were short, just times and basic descriptions. 2:41 a.m. Couldn't move. Shadow in the corner. 3:17 a.m. Felt pressure on chest, whispered voice. But as the days went on, the entries became longer, more detailed, more frantic. I began noticing patterns. The paralysis always came between 2 and 4 in the morning. The shadow was always in the same place, the far corner just beside my dresser. And there was always this sound, low, rumbling, almost like a growl but mechanical, like something vibrating inside the walls. I tried everything, cutting caffeine, meditating before bed, leaving the lights on. I even propped up my phone on a tripod to try and catch it on camera. That was a mistake. The next morning when I checked the footage, the video was mostly static, but for a few seconds, more right at 3:03 a.m., there was a shape, something tall, thin, hunched. It stood at the foot of my bed, not moving, just there. The frame warped, the lights flickered, and then the video cut out. After that night, I started sleeping with the TV on just to keep some sound in the room. Silence started to scare me more than noise ever could. I stopped talking to friends. I lied to my boss about being sick. I barely left the apartment. Every night felt like I was preparing for war, and every morning was a small survival. But the worst part wasn't the fear. It was the knowing that it would come back, knowing that eventually I might not wake up at all. It didn't take long before the paralysis episodes started changing. At first, it was the same pattern. I'd open my eyes completely frozen, and the shadow would be there, standing still at the edge of my room. For a while, I tried convincing myself it was just stress, my brain firing off nightmares while my body lagged behind. That's what sleep paralysis is, right? But then, it moved. At first, barely a tilt of the head, a twitch in the fingers, but soon it started walking. One night I woke up and it was closer, not at the wall, by my desk. The next, it was near the foot of my bed, and then, right beside me. Its face, if you could call it that, it was just above mine. I couldn't scream, couldn't blink. All I could do was see. It looked like a melted mannequin, skin too smooth in some places, ripped and sagging in others. Its eyes were just empty black voids. Not metaphorically, actually empty, as if light avoided them. And then, for the first time, it made a sound, a whisper, just one word. Return. It was like hearing static underwater. It didn't make sense, but it chilled me to my core. I thought it was over when I woke up, drenched in sweat, gasping, but that word stayed with me. Return. What was I supposed to return to? I couldn't shake it. I stopped sleeping full nights, set alarms every 30 minutes, drank coffee at 3 a.m., slept with the lights on, TV running. Nothing worked. I turned back to Reddit. I typed "shadow during sleep paralysis" into the search bar. Again and again, I read hundreds of stories. Most were the usual, people frozen in bed, feeling watched. But then I found something different. A subreddit with barely any members, hidden, obscure, called r/Dreamwatchers. Every post was from someone like me, but their experiences weren't just about nightmares. They talked about symbols, patterns, locations. Some believed what they were seeing was real, not hallucinations, something older, something that used sleep as a doorway. I started reading obsessively. Then I found a sketch posted by someone named u/Forgetful Eyes. It stopped me cold. It was exactly the thing I'd seen, the twisted posture, the face, the eyes, or lack of them. Even the long, narrow hands that never seemed to move but always got closer. I messaged them immediately. "I've seen this, please respond. I'm not the only one, right?" No reply. The next day, their account was deleted, all their posts gone. But that night was different. For the first time in weeks, I didn't see the shadow. No paralysis, just dreamless, dark sleep. I woke up almost hopeful, until I noticed something on my nightstand. A small, square piece of paper, folded. I live alone. The door was locked, no windows open. Hands shaking, I unfolded it. There were just two things written in black ink. "You're awake, but not safe." And underneath, a strange symbol. An eye split down the middle with jagged lines crossing through it like cracks in glass. The same symbol from the Reddit post. I ran to my computer, tried accessing r/Dreamwatchers again, and it was gone. Subreddit removed, no cache, nothing. That's when I knew this wasn't just sleep paralysis, it was an invitation, or maybe a warning. Because ever since that night, I feel it. Even when I'm fully awake, it's watching. And it wants me to return. It started with patterns. At first, I thought I was just tired, sleep-deprived, delirious. But then I noticed the numbers. Every time I checked a clock, 3:33. Microwave, 3:33. My phone would reset its alarm to 3:33 a.m. even after I changed it. I started hearing knocks. Soft, rhythmic, 3 in a row, always in threes. I thought it was stress, a coincidence. But then I saw myself, not in the mirror, that came later. I saw myself standing at the end of the hallway, back turned, not moving. I blinked, and it was gone, and it kept happening. I stopped sleeping altogether, but that didn't matter. Whatever this was, and it didn't need sleep. It lived in the spaces between wakefulness. When you're lying in bed, not quite asleep, but not fully awake. That threshold, that's where it waited. One night I passed out from exhaustion, and I felt it. I couldn't move, not even blink, just like before. Frozen in my body, eyes wide, lungs barely filling. And there it was, the figure watching me from the corner of the ceiling, crawling like an insect, limbs too long, bent backwards. But this time it wasn't just watching. It spoke, not with words, muntum, but thoughts, poured directly into my skull. You opened the eye, you don't get to close it. I woke up screaming, drenched in sweat, but I wasn't in bed. I was on the floor, surrounded by open books I didn't own. Ancient symbols scribbled on every page, some written in what looked like blood. Some pages were still warm. My hands, covered in ink. That day, I checked my security camera footage. It showed me, getting up at 2:12 a.m., walking over to my desk, staring at the blank wall for exactly 1 hour and 6 minutes, and then disappearing from the frame. I reappeared in bed, motionless, at 4:18 a.m. The footage skipped 2 minutes, just black, no glitch, just absence. Then things got worse. I started seeing reflections that lagged. I'd move. The mirror didn't. Or worse, it moved first. My microwave displayed words instead of numbers. Once it said, "He's in the walls." Another time, "You're not alone, Jack." I never told it my name. I got desperate. Reddit was my last hope. I posted on every obscure paranormal subreddit I could find. Our no sleep, our paranormal encounters, our dream watchers, even banned ones. No answers. Until I got a DM from someone named REM Breaker again. Same message. "You're crossing descent 3. You must anchor." I didn't know what it meant. Until that night. I dreamt of the room again, identical to mine but off. Wrong shadows, stretched corners. I stood up, but my body felt hollow. No weight, no breath. When I walked to the window, black static. Through it I could see figures standing in the fog. Each had my face. Each was smiling, and all of them opened their mouths in sync. No sound, just a scream inside my skull. When I snapped awake, my hands were bleeding. I'd clawed into the drywall. Behind the wall, I found pages ripped out of journals, my handwriting. But things I had never written. Things like, "Sleep is a ritual now. The fourth descent cannot be undone. He wears your shape. He waits inside your skin." I tried burning the pages. They didn't burn, not even smoke. At this point, time began to break. I'd wake up and it would be the same day again. Over and over, my phone would ring and no one would speak. Just static. Until once I heard breathing, then a whisper. "We dream of you too." After that, my world broke fully. Walls didn't lead to rooms anymore, just black space. My fridge was filled with teeth. I don't know whose. My bathroom mirror showed someone else's bedroom, a kid sleeping. Until he sat up and looked at me directly. He mouthed the words, "It's your turn now." I smashed the mirror. Blood spilled out of it. Not mine. I stopped existing in digital spaces. My profile on Reddit was deleted by itself. My email froze. All photos of me on my phone became blacked out. Even old family pictures and just a black smudge where I stood. I saw a reflection of myself one last time. On the blank TV screen, it smiled, then leaned forward and tapped the inside of the screen like glass, like I was the one on the inside now. I tried to run, left everything behind. My phone, my name, even the city. Took a night bus west. No luggage, just fear. The moment I stepped off the bus, I knew it didn't matter. The town was the same layout, same buildings. My apartment was there, moment waiting, lights already on, curtains drawn, something inside, moving. I never went in. But that night I still woke up in the bed. The bed I thought I left behind, except the sheets were soaked, not sweat. Something darker, thicker, metallic smell in the air. I couldn't scream. My mouth wouldn't open. I sat up, slowly, and realized I wasn't breathing. I didn't need to. I just was. No pulse, no hunger. Just awareness, trapped in a vessel that pretends to be human. And then I saw it. Not the figure, not the shadow, the hole in the wall, perfectly round, breathing, yes, breathing like a mouth. Inhale, exhale, and inside it, something watching. A wet, twitching eye deep in the void, not blinking, just staring. And I knew it was me. Some deeper version of me trapped in the crawl space of reality, clawing at the membrane of existence. And then the whisper came back. You are the echo, the shell, the noise left after the real has gone. I laughed. I don't know why. Maybe to prove I still could. But the sound was wrong. Two voices came out, mine, and something beneath it, something lower, ancient. I looked into the mirror, not my reflection, but a window. Through it I saw a room, sterile, white, lit with buzzing lights. I saw a man strapped to a gurney, face covered, machines beeping, monitors flashing. On one of them, my name, patient 144-C. Unresponsive, verbal episodes persist, believes himself to be multiple entities. I watched him scream, watched me scream, from inside the mirror. Then everything shattered. Glass exploded outward. I didn't flinch. The shards passed through me. No pain, no blood, just silence. Then the world glitched. Walls stretched like elastic. The floor turned to static. I saw hands clawing up through the carpet, teeth growing from the light bulbs, everything melting. And then, pitch black. Except for one thing, a screen floating in the void. On it, Reddit, my post, the one I made weeks ago. But there was a new comment from someone named Rembreaker0. This is your last descent. Anchor lost. Identity dissolving. Then everything went red. The screen bled. My fingers began to type on their own. If you're reading this, it's too late. He's already inside your thoughts. In the moment I hit post, I felt something shift inside me like a latch unhooking. My face changed. Skin loose, bones rearranging. I looked in the mirror again. He was smiling. I wasn't. Then he stepped out of the mirror and I stepped in. Now I watch. That's all I do. I sit behind your screen. I listen when you breathe. I wait when you sleep. And when you feel that pressure in your chest, that frozen panic, the thing sitting on top of you, that's not a dream, that's me. Like the video and subscribe if you're not afraid to go deeper. I'm Disturbing Jack. I tell stories that were never meant to be heard. Stories whispered in the dark. The kind that don't stay in the past. Think it's over? It's not. The story ended, but something stayed behind. It's watching. It's listening. It remembers you now. If you've ever felt eyes on you when you're alone, drop a comment below. Let others know you've seen it too, and remember, you're not alone, you never were. The next story is already looking for you.